Movable chords. Movable chords are chords that are played up and down the neck. And once you learn movable chords, you can play songs in any key in various places on the neck. It really opens up the guitar. I'm going to show you two movable chords. There are dozens of them, but the two most basic, most widely used are the movable chord based on an E chord and a movable chord based on an A chord. And what you do, you play an E chord and you refinger that chord. So you're not using your index finger. Then you slide that little piece of the chord up and lay your index finger down. It's as if you were playing an E chord with your first finger as a capo on the first fret. And the beauty of the movable chord is they're symmetric. Every time you play it on a different fret, you're essentially playing in a different key. And that's huge. How to identify the movable chord requires a little bit of memorization. You need to identify the root of the chord. The E form chord, which I just played, has the root on the sixth string. Well, here's the E chord. That's an E note. We've already established that the E note is the root of the E chord. As we refinger the chord, slide it up, put your finger down, you essentially have the same shape as an E chord, but it's pitched differently, so higher than the original E chord. But the relationship of this shape to the sixth string is the same. If you can identify the note under your first finger on the sixth string, you can identify the chord. That's an E note, that's an F note. So when I play this E form chord on the first fret, there's an F note under my first finger. That means I'm playing an F chord. The notes on the first string are E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. There's a whole step between every two letter name notes, like F to G. There's two frets. There's two frets between A and B. I mean G and A. Two frets between A and B. There's one fret between B and C, and there's one fret between E and F. E and F and B and C are the only two notes that have only one fret in between E and F and B and C. So once you can get your fingers in this chord shape and you can identify the note in the sixth string, you can play in any key. This E becomes an F, F sharp, G. Remember, there's a G note under my first finger on the third fret. That's a G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Just by identifying the note on the sixth string will give you the name of the chord anywhere on the neck. Now the bonus is this: when you play an E chord down here, you can play an E, you can play an E minor, or you can play an E7. The same thing applies with the movable form. If I find a G note up on the sixth string, G, E, F, F sharp, G, and I play that E form movable chord, it's a G chord. But I can lift up this finger and make it an E minor chord, put the finger back down, lift up my pinky, make it a seventh chord. So that means by using this form, you have a major, a minor, and a seventh chord on every fret. From the open chord to the 12th fret, that means there's 36 new chords in your chord vocabulary. Take the A chord. The A chord, the root is on the fifth string. So we're going to refinger that chord by putting our fingers in a row here, slide up one fret, and put my first finger across the first fret. Now the same thing applies. The root of this shape is found on the fifth string. So as this chord moves up the neck, by identifying the note under my first finger on the fifth string, will identify the chord. Now I'm playing it like this. It's easier to start playing the chord with your fingers like this. The conventional way to play the chord actually is taking your third finger and doing it inverted. So you're kind of bending it like this. And playing it that way. So this A chord would look like that. Slide it up a fret, bar across. A sharp, B, C. Just following the root notes on the fifth string. And just as the E chord can be played as a major, a minor, or a seventh, this A form chord, major, here's your A chord, A minor, A7, that same form, C, C minor, C7. That's 12 frets major, minor, and seventh in every fret. That's 36 chords there. So that gives you a total of 72 chords if you can master this E form chord, major, minor, and seventh, and the A form chord, major, minor, and seventh. Then you can play just my G, D, E minor, C. Having those two chords in your vocabulary allows you to play any major, minor, or seventh chord in two different places. Here's a G chord using the E form. Here's a G chord using the A form. Here's a F sharp minor using the E form. Here's an F sharp minor using the A form. This way you can play any song in any key anywhere on the neck.